Continuing in the digital story, I'm looking at the directions for collecting images, and we're going to move down to the page that tells you how to organize your pictures in iPhoto. So here's a little bit about how iPhoto works. So on the left side you have the different library items, starting with the events. Those are organized into the different times that you downloaded sets of photos. Then if you click on photos, you'll see all of the different photos that you added to your photo library. If I wanted to create a new album to help organize my photos, I would press the plus button right here, and then I could name that album. For example, Viking Photos. Now, for the number of photos that I have in my photo library, which right here shows 42, I don't necessarily need to separate them into albums. But if you are working with more and more photos, for example, on my computer in my account, I have 5,000 photos, and in order to find them easier, I might want to separate them into different folders. So I've created a folder called Viking Photos. Now it has nothing in it, but when I go up to Photos, I can drag photos and drop them in there, or if I wanted more than one at a time, I could hold down Shift, click on the first one and the last one in a group, and drag them in there. And now if I click there, I can see they all ended up in there. If I were to delete one from this folder by pressing delete on my keyboard, it disappears from there, but it's still in my original iPhoto library. Other features here, if I go to Faces, it could actually recognize faces that I tag, and it will search all the rest of my photos for that person. For Places, if there are any photos that have GPS information, location information in them, it will locate those photos where they were taken. I'm going to go to editing the pictures now. So let's say I wanted to edit a picture, one of the pictures of myself. Let's say this one right here. First, I would recommend that you go up to Photo and you choose to duplicate that photo, so you still have your original. Okay, then I'm going to go into editing, and it will show me in editing mode and give me all these other tools. So I can first rotate it if I wanted to. I can crop it if I wanted to make it smaller. If I wanted to constrain it to a certain size, I can click here. For example, if I wanted it to exactly fit the size of my computer screen, or if I wanted to send it to get printed on photo paper, I could choose a specific size that I want for that. And when you crop your photos, they don't have to be exactly with your face centered in it. Okay, I could be looking slightly towards the left side of it, and that's just fine. The next is straighten. If the photo is a little crooked, I could straighten it that way. The enhance button is supposed to be a one-button correction to make it look better. It worked pretty well. For the red eye, that's if you have photos where your eyes are red in there, which we don't see too much anymore because that's caused by a bright flash on your eyes, but mostly our photos are taken from smartphones and iPads now, so we don't see a lot of red eyes anymore. So I'm going to close that. The retouch is for like if there's a blemish, a pimple, a freckle that you want to get rid of. For example, I'm going to zoom in, and let's say I want to get rid of this freckle right here. I can click on it and it should make it disappear. I'm going to zoom back out, and then I'm going to go to the adjustments. Okay, and that gets me even more features. I can adjust the exposure, which will make it brighter. If I go to contrast and I increase the contrast, makes the bright colors brighter and the dark colors darker. Or if I go the other way, makes the dark colors lighter and the light colors darker, so everything gets a little more gray. Saturation is how much color or how little color, which will turn it almost black and white. The definition is how sharp it is, although there's also a sharpness feature. You can see the difference here. Highlights will eliminate anything that's too bright, like my shiny forehead. Shadows will eliminate anything that's too dark, like my hair, so then you'll be able to see all the gray. Sharpness does increase, makes you see all the pixels, all your pores and everything. And then denoise softens it, kind of does the opposite. So now it's like a really soft focus, soft blur. If I go down to temperature, it changes the lighting. So the lighting, it's a little cooler or a little warmer. If I go down to tint, that works with colors that are not natural. So it turns the whole thing purple or green. When you're done, you can just close this and you can hit done. And now you can see that picture looks quite different from that one. I'm going to make another copy of it, and I'm going to do some completely different things with it. So I'm going to go to edit again, and I'm going to crop it again, and I'm going to crop more of a square this time, looking into the picture. And then let's go to adjustments. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to soften it again and turn up the saturation and the exposure as well. And let's say I'm going to make this one cooler. Okay, not only that, but now I'm going to go to a different feature, effects, that gives it my kind of a frame around the outside. The whole thing black and white, or sepia tone, or antique. Or I can go to this matte, which puts white around the edge, or vignette, which puts black around the edge, or I can do a combination of both, like that. And let's just say I'm done with that one, and you can see that's a completely different looking photo than the others. You don't have to be completely centered in the photo. You can make yours more stylized if you want. In fact, you can stylize your other pictures as well. Okay, so let's say for this, for example, let's say I don't want it just completely centered right in the middle. I can crop it like that. Okay, I still know what the picture is, but it's not just dead center like regular old picture. It gives it a different look. If you want to undo the changes you've made, you can go up to Photos, Revert to Previous. Photos, Revert to Original, I guess it's called now, and there it is.